Hi guys, today we're going to take combination of substitution and coordinates and straight line graph. First lesson we're going to take or revise is substitution. What's substitution? Let's see. For example, here if I have A is equal 17 and B is equals 19, what's the value of A plus B? I'm going to replace A with 17 plus B with 19, which is going to be 38. And here, if I got C equals 100 and D equals 71, so I'm going to replace C with 100 minus D 71, which is going to be 29. And here, if x is equals 8, what's the value of 3x? I'm going to replace x with 8, which is going to be 3 multiplied 8, which is going to be 24. Okay, he gave you the value of some letters, and he's asking you to find the value of 6a minus 4b minus 3c. Okay, I have the value of A is 5, so it's going to be 6 times 5, minus the value of B, 4, so it will be 4 times 4, minus 3 multiplied, the value of C is 3, so 3 multiplied 3, so it will be 6 times 5, minus 4 times 4, minus 3 times 3, which is going to be 30 minus 16 minus 9, and the final value is 5. So in substitution, I need the final answer to be a number. Here, he gave me another equation, 2e power d plus a b c. Okay, 2e, the value of e is negative 2, so I'm going to replace e with negative 2. Power d, which is going to be 4, plus ABC, A is 5, BC multiplied, but multiplied 4 multiplied 3. So it's going to be, since D is 0, so, oh, I'm sorry, the value of D is 0, not 4, it's 0. Okay, 2 multiplied negative 2, 0, power 0, plus 5 times 4 times 3. Okay, any number power 0 is equals to 1, so it's as if 2 multiplied 1 plus 5 times 4 times 3, which is equals 60. Since we know that any number, whether it's a positive or a negative number, power 0, it's always equals 1. So 2 times 1 equals 2, so it will be 2 plus 60, so the final answer is 62. Okay, let's go to coordinates. If I have a coordinate plan, I have an x-axis and a y-axis. As we see here, the y-axis is the vertical line, and the x-axis is the horizontal line, and on the right side is the positive, on the left side is the negative. Upwards is positive and downwards is negative. And in the middle, the point in the middle is called the origin that we started from the graph. So the graph is divided into 4 quadrants, which are the positive quadrant, the positive y and negative x, the negative quadrant, and the positive x and negative y. Okay, Let's see how do we plot coordinates on the graph. If I have a point like this, 5 and 6, 5 and 6 is a point on the graph that needs an x-axis and y-axis. Okay, we start with a 5 is the x coordinate. So I look for 5 on the x-axis, and then 6 is the y coordinate. So after I stop at 5, I go up and look for 6. So this is my point. My coordinate always start with x and then y. Remember it with the alphabetics, 5 and 6. Alphabetics, x and y, x and y, x, y. It always begins with x and then y. When you plot or you find a coordinate in the graph, you have to look for the x first and then the y. Okay, let's see. This is called an ordered pair. An ordered pair. X, Y, it's like entering a hotel. X in the door, Y up the elevator. So X is that you enter a door. Y is whether you are going down the elevator or up the elevator. Okay. So here, when he told me negative, it gave me a coordinate -3 and 4. So -3 is the x. So I'm going to look for it in the x-axis. So it's going to be left, and then 4 on the y-axis, which I'm going to go up because it's positive. So this is the point. If you give me a -4 and 6, so I'm going to look for -4 on the x-axis, and 6 is up. So the point is -4 and 6. 2 and -3. I'm going to look for 2 on the x-axis first, and then go down -3. So the point is 2 and -3. -6 and -4. I'm going to take -6 and then -4. So this is my coordinate point. Let's see this example, 7 and 3. I'm going to look for the x-axis and 7 first, and then 3 upwards. So this is the point. These points all lie in different quadrants. What do you notice about their coordinates? What do you notice about their coordinates? In this coordinate, the x-axis is negative and the x-coordinate is negative and the y-coordinate is positive. Here, the x-coordinate and the y-coordinates both are positive. Here, the x-coordinate is negative and the y-coordinate also is negative. And finally, in B, the x-coordinate is positive and the y-coordinate is negative. So each quadrant in the graph, you have to know that any point inside it, the x-axis is always negative and the y-axis is always positive. And here, both are always positive, and here, both are always negative, and here, the x is always positive and the y is always negative. But when he tells me 5 and 0, so I'm going to look for 5 in the x-axis first, and then 0. What does it mean 0? It means that I stand in my place. 0 in the y-axis is here. So my point is here, 5 and 0. But if he told me 0 and 6, okay, I am used to start with the x-axis. It's 0 here, and 6, which means I'm going to move up to 6. So the point will be on number 6, on the y-axis. Okay. Type. When he said G -7 and 0, okay, I will look for -7 in the x-axis here, and then am I going to go up or down? No, because 0 is right here, so it means that the point is on the -7 on the x-axis. And if you told me 0 and -3, I'm going to start with the middle from 0, and I'm going down to -3. So the point will be on -3 on the y-axis. These points all lie on the axis, not in quadrants. These points, since one of the coordinates have 0, whether the x, when the x is 0, the point is on the y-axis. What do you notice about their coordinates? When the x is 0 here in F and H, the points are on the y-axis. But when this y coordinate is equals 0, like in G and E, the points are on the x-axis. So they are opposite to each other. Okay? Let's go. We took our revision. Let's apply it on the graphing equations. If I have a horizontal and vertical lines, x and y, I have here a line that's drawn and cut the y-axis at -2. So this line has a name which is called y equals -2. Let's see, for example, if I took any point on this line, for example, here it will be -4 and -2, 0 and -2, -4 and -2. So the y, did the y change? No. Since that the y is the same in all the points on the line, so this line is called y equals -2. Now, let's see another example. If I have a line, but this line cuts the x-axis instead of the y. It's parallel to the y-axis, but it cuts the x-axis at 3. Now, let's take any other points on this line. So I have 3 and 4, 3 and 1, 3 and -5. Since the x coordinate is the same in all the points on this line, therefore this line is called x. Since it cuts the x-axis, it's called x equals 3. And that's the final of this lesson. Let's try these lines. He will give me some lines and you will give me their names. This line cuts the y-axis or the x-axis? It cuts the y-axis. So it's called y equals 2. Type. If you gave me this line cuts the x-axis or the y-axis? It cuts the x-axis. So it cuts the x-axis at -2. So this line is called x equals -2. Okay? See if you can name lines 1 to 5. Okay, line 1. What's the name of the line 1? It's a line that cuts the y. Since it cuts the y-axis, then it's called y equals a, y equals 1. So the first line is called y equals 1. Type 2. This line cuts the x-axis or the y-axis? It cuts the x-axis, so it's called x equals the number that it cuts, which is 1. So it calls x equals 1. Line 3. It's a line that cuts the x or the y? It cuts the x-axis, so it's called x equals 5. And finally, no, line 4 first. Line 4 cuts the y or the x. It cuts the y, so it's called y equals -4. And then the last line is cuts the x-axis, so it's called x equals -4. Remember to draw the line x equals 3. We draw a line parallel to the y-axis at the point 3 on the x-axis. So if he asks me to write x equals 3, I have to look for on the x-axis where is 3. So I'm going to draw a line that cuts the x-axis at 3. If he asks me to draw y equals 5, since he asked me y equals, so I'm going to look for on the y-axis where is 5, and I'm going to draw a line that cuts the y-axis at 5, so it's going to be y equals 5. Okay, the table method. We can use an equation of a line to plot a graph by substituting a value of x into it. For example, if he gave me an equation like y equals 2x plus 1, and he gave me a table, if x is equals 0, or sometimes he doesn't give me a table, he just gives me the graph. So when x is equals 0, y is equals, I replace the x substitution and put instead of it 0, so it will be 2 times 0 plus 1, so y is equals 1. If it's x equals 1, I will replace the x and put 1 and solve the equation. X equals 2, so it will be y equals 2 times 2 plus 1, which will be 5. Okay, I have 3 points. They are enough for me to draw a line on the graph. Now you just have to plot the points on the graph. So I have 0, 1, 0, 1. I will start from 0 and 1. This is my first point. Okay, and I have 1 and 3. So I'm going to start from 1 on the x-axis and then go up 3. And then 2 and 5, so I'm going to start from 2 and then 5. So this is the points that I plot. So the line is drawn like this. So by this, you solved the equation or the question. Okay, let's see this example. Y equals x. When it's y equals x, which means that when x is equals 0, y is also equals 0. When x is equals 1, y is equals 1, and so on. X is equals 2, y is equals 2. Let's plot the points. If I have 0 and 0 started from here, 1 and 1 here, 2 and 2 here, 3 and 3 here, 4 and 4 here. So the line y equal x or x equals y is drawn diagonally on the graph starting from the origin. Okay, let's see when y is equals x plus 5. So I'm going to replace x with 0, which will be 0 plus 5, which is going to be 5. And then I replace x with 4, which is going to be 4 plus 5, which is going to be 9. Replace x with 5, which is going to be 10, and so on. I don't need to get all the numbers. I can only, if he gave me the table, I have to find all of them. But if he didn't give me a table, I can choose only 3 numbers and plot the points for them and draw the line. Okay, let's see this line, the plotting of this line. 0 and 5. So I'm going to start from 0 and 5. So this is my first point, and then 2 and 7, like this, and then 4 and 9. So the line is going to be drawn like this. Okay, when y is equals to x, so when x is 0, y is also 0. When x is 1, y will be 2 times 1, which is 2. When x is 2, y will be 2 times 2, which will be 4. When x is 3, y will be 2 times 3, which will be 6, and so on. So let's plot the coordinates: 0 and 0, 1 and 2, 2 and 4, 3 and 6. So the line is going to be like this. Okay, y equals 2x plus 5. I'm going to replace x with 0, so it will be 2 times 0, which will be 0, plus 5, which will be 5. I'm going to replace x with 1, so it will be 2 times 1 equals 2, plus 5, 7. He gave me the value of 2, and so on. So I got the points. I'm going to plot them. 0 and 5, it's going to be start from here. 1 and 7, and then here. 2 and 9, and then here, and then, and so on. If I plotted 3 points, I can use the ruler and complete the line. So this is the line that's y equal to x plus 5. And if he told me y equals 7 minus x, no problem. I will replace x with 0, which will be 7 minus 0 will be 1. 7 minus 1 equals 6, which will, when with x equals 2, I replace x with 2, so 7 minus 2 equals 5, minus 3 equals 4, minus 5 equals 2, and so on. So I got the points. I started from 0, 7, so I started from here, and then 1 and 6, and then here, 2 and 5, then here. So the line is going to be the opposite direction, like this. So finally I have 2 lines. One is called x equals 4. When x equals 4, so I'm going to look for the x-axis. Where is 4 in the x-axis? Here it is. So the line is going to be drawn vertically intersecting x-axis at 4. And when it's y equals 3, so where is y? Y is here. Where is 3? So I'm going to draw a line that intersects the y-axis at 3. I hope you understood the lesson, and see you soon.